Well, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in the world watching this at this time. This is Anil Ramtreater with Landed for Success, and today we have our special guest speaker from Platinum Payments out of Provo, Utah, USA, uh, Mr. Ryker Page, and he's one of the top execs with the company, helping people understand how they can save on their payment gateways and their monthly transactions, and as well, if you know anyone with a business that does monthly transactions, you want to introduce them to Ryko. He's now officially a VIP member with Landed for Success. So without any further ado, a little bit about me. My name is Anil Ramtreater. I'm down here in the Caribbean, and we have people on the Zoom from Toronto and other cities, Mississauga, in the greater GTA. So more people will join on in time, but that's okay. We're going to get started because I want to respect everybody's time. So I want to hand over the Zoom now to Mr. Ryker Page. Go ahead, Ryker.
Perfect. Thank you, Neil. Thanks for the introduction. And yeah, like you said, my name is Ryker with Platinum Payments or PlatPay as we call ourselves, out of Provo, Utah, just a little bit south of Salt Lake City. And what we are is we're a payment processing company. We've been around for over 20 years now and have kind of really started to grow recently. Just to give you a little background about us, we started in kind of the high risk coaching space, setting up a lot of MLMs who had a lot of hard time getting set up with other big processing companies. And that's where we stepped in and were able to find them a solution that works for them. Um, how we do things is we set up services that are designed specifically to someone's business. So it's not a one size fits all solution like you get with a lot of the big processors. We're able to take a look at how you take payments and then find a solution that works for you. We have over 30 different banking partnerships that allows us to give us a lot of leeway to find a solution that works for you, a bank that's willing to work with your business and has an appetite for the type of risk that your business may have. We also pride ourselves on being kind of a white glove service where we can keep an eye on everything that's going on with you, be a point of contact so that it's not just a nameless face who's doing your credit card processing. You know, me or whoever on our team sets you up, and you can reach out anytime to help you out with any payment solutions. What I'm going to go over today is just a couple of case studies and things of companies we've helped before, show you some of the examples of how we've been able to save companies on processing. If anybody has any questions at any point, feel free to step in. And then, Anil, can you allow me to share my screen? Let's see, I might be able to. Okay, here we go. Okay, just one second. Okay, perfect. Are you able to see that? Okay, perfect.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, just to go through some of the common problems and where we step in. One of the things that a lot of people see that don't get covered with a lot of processing companies is hidden fees, reconciliation gaps, and declines and chargebacks. So what something like a hidden fee, everybody's pretty familiar with those. Processors and big banks like to put fees in sections where you can't see them, so you don't really know how much you're paying. So they can quote you on a lot of these low rates and say, oh yeah, we can get you under 3% and things like this, but then they hide all of the other fees in different places. Um, and it makes it pretty tough to see what you're actually paying and what you're actually paying for. That's a pretty easy one that we can go through and look at your statements, take a look at what you're paying and see how we can cut that down for you. What reconciliation gaps are is a lot of times when people are paying credit card payments, the batches don't line up the same day as when the deposits may be. So sometimes your payments get settled, meaning everything that you took for the day gets batched out of your payment gateway or your CRM. Those funds won't get deposited a lot of times for 2 to 3 days, things like that, and it can um, mess up when tax season comes around, like it is right now, and you are paying extra taxes on funds that actually did not end up being successful transactions and ended up being either a refund, a chargeback, things like this. And I'll go over a little bit more on that later. And then declines is for a lot of subscription-based businesses. When you have subscriptions lined up to go out, say the first day of every month, sometimes 5% of them won't go through because of insufficient funds, because the card's declined, the card isn't active anymore, and it's kind of just lost revenue that you don't get to have access to for that month. And what we have done is we have built what is called PlatPay technology. And what PlatPay technology does is it gives us the data to be able to go find how to fix those problems. So decline management, we're able to go through with our technology and take a look at all the payments and subscriptions that did not go through for you for a month, right? Able to identify the reasons why. A lot of times that can be if you say you take a payment and it comes back on the credit card statement and says do not honor. A lot of people don't really know what do not honor means, what that transaction failed for. What our system is able to do is find the real reason. So it could be something as simple as it was just insufficient funds. And if you try the card again in a couple of weeks or later that week, it may have sufficient funds. Or it could be that the credit card account is no longer active, in which case you're not going to be able to get those funds back. And the way that helps save money is by allowing you to not pay extra money every time you run a transaction. So when you run your subscriptions through at the beginning of every month, you're paying transaction fees that if you don't have to pay, you're going to be a lot better off in the long run. Another option that we have is recovery, where we're able to go and recover failed transactions by doing what's called a smart retry, which is, like I was saying earlier, knowing when to retry these transactions and how they all line up and see when we can get you your money instead of just counting that subscription as gone and not being able to get the funds you were planning on for that week. And then accounting and reconciliation. That is something I'll go over a little bit later, but basically we're able to save big teams time on their accounting. So what our technology does is it's able to automatically reconcile your transactions every month. So you're able to save time and not have to go through and reconcile everything all at once. One company that we were just working with recently, let me go to that case study right here. So this comes from a home services company. They, do kind of like HVAC type stuff. And when we went through and took a look at their accounting and their account reconciliation, we were able to see that they were overstating their income by nearly $2 million every year. And what that was doing is making them pay more in taxes. And the reason that they were overstating this income is because they had refunds, chargebacks, failed transaction and fees that weren't being taken out of their overall gross income. And so it was counting everything as a transaction that went through when in fact it wasn't. And these businesses were overstating how much they had made, which made them overstate on taxes. And we were able to save them right over $600,000 just for 1 year of their taxes. And what our technology does is once we do it, once we get you set up with PlatPay technology, it'll continue to run that reconciliation for the lifetime that you're with us. So these problems aren't just a one-time solution. This is something that will continue to be fixed in your accounting as long as you are using PlatPay. Another company, and this is one that maybe a bit of an outside example, but one that we did see, and it is a bit rare, but we were able to save this company almost $12 million in 1 year just off of finding what PlatPay technology could find. So this company is a fiber internet service provider, and they take a lot of subscription-based business, like I was talking about earlier. Not only at the top row here, we were able to save them on processing costs. That's just a simple, drop the rates that someone is processing with, and that's what most processors do is just cut your rates, and they would have saved around $3.6 million that year. What we did is we found on top of the processing savings, we found three other sections that they could save in. One of them was decline recovery, like mentioned earlier. Um, the decline recovery for this company was subscription based. They were paying subscriptions on uh, almost $25 million each month, and those subscriptions were failing. And we were able to go through with our PlatPay technology, find the subscriptions that were failing, and save them $5 million for that first year just in decline recovery. Accounting efficiency is another area we saved. This is a kind of indirect cost, but our system can do the accounting for you when it comes to credit card transactions. Any of your cash stuff, that'll still be handled by your accounting team or yourself if you're a self-owned business. But the accounting on credit cards, our system can do that all for you, lays it out in a nice clean report at the end of every month so you have it on hand. And we were able to save them. They had a team of around 3 accountants that they were able to redistribute to other parts of their business because they didn't have to reconcile the accounting every month. And then tax savings was exactly the same situation I went over with the previous company. They were overpaying, overstating their income, and we were able to save them $3 million simply on the accounting side of their business. Um, Another company that we have worked with, this company, it's a bit of a unique situation. This was another case of decline recovery, but what they did is they gave half of their business for a month to us and another half to another competitor who also does decline recovery. These numbers here show the comparison that they have, and after this month, they ended up switching exclusively to PlatPay. But they had, I think it was around 10,000 invoices that were failed from that month on their subscription-based businesses. Our competitor was able to save around 460 of them. We were able to save around 300 or 3,500. The total amount is drastic. Obviously, it's great. That company was able to save 15,000, but the difference that we were able to save them on our batch of 10,000 failed transactions is pretty drastic. We had a recovery rate of 27.7% compared to a little over 1% from the other company. And then the cost per savings. Our service is cheaper. It does kind of depend on each business, and that's where if you are using our recovery tool, we'll work with you to find kind of how to price it out. We don't want to overcharge smaller businesses, so we try and make sure that option works out for you. But in total, they were able to save around $100,000 simply on the recovery of their failed transactions. A third of the cost of the competitor as well to do it. And the reason that we're able to do this with PlatPay technology is, like we talk about, most processors are just going to be running your transactions, giving you the money at the end of each month and giving you a statement, where we want to actually dive into the data and try and see each month, how can we save this company money? And that's why we're a smaller team right now. We're able to take a look at all of our businesses and see where's the areas we can save, how does our technology allow us to do that, and what information can we give back to the business to allow them to either recover more of your income or save more for the rates that you're paying or the fees that you're paying. And kind of the overall point is we like to be a white glove, hands-on service. We're recently, this last week or so, I've been working with a company that they were on Shopify, who's a very big e-commerce company, especially here in the US, who had built out their website and gave them a nice checkout page. But Shopify began to start holding their funds. And what we've done over the last couple of weeks for this company is we were able to work with a Swiss company to build them a new website that looks exactly like their Shopify website. We were able to work with that company to integrate everything into their checkout page so that it ran the same as their Shopify did, so that they had a clean transition off of Shopify. And we were able to work hand on hand with them, where most big processors are just going to, run your transactions, not ask any questions, and take their fees at the end of the month. Couple other things I wanted to go over is kind of how we can get started with companies. Anything, you can just reach out to me and I can get going from there. But another thing we like to do is do a price analysis and take a look at where we can actually save you. So we do free price analysis, we do free audits to see if there even is anything we can save you. If you are losing on declines, on recovery, on reconciliation, or just your standard processing fees. So we're able to take just a couple months of your processing statements, do an analysis for you. I'll let you know, hey, this is how much we can save you. If you think that's worth it, we can talk about switching you over, and we'll let you know if, hey, there's not a lot of margin here and there's not much we can save you. So we just want to keep everything pretty simple, but we can run a free price analysis for anybody, and we'll let you know what we can save and how everything can work from there. Um, I know it looks like it's just the other Anil here right now, but any questions for you or anything you've seen with your business, Anil?
So Neil,
Either
you can,
Anil, I guess.
yeah, if you want, you can unmute if you have any questions. But I have one question in the
Yeah,
meantime
for sure.
for you, Riker. So, what countries does a client have to be residing in for you to offer
Yeah.
them service?
So right now it is at the moment just the United States and Canada. That's the where our banking connections have the ability to place people. We're looking to expand that scope, and we do have some things lined up in the next couple months that hopefully could expand to other regions. But right now, the US and Canada is where we can take payments from, and we can take payments internationally, but the businesses need to have an entity or be set up in the United States or Canada.
Okay, so if a business is in the UK, but they have head office or they do business in the US, that can be
Yeah.
okay, that can work. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we've done that before with businesses. If they have a location in the U.S. and they can prove that they have an address here or incorporated in the U.S., that can work as well.
Fantastic. Well, I'm happy I got on today because a lot of the stuff you covered, I'm unaware of. I didn't realize Platinum Pay or PlatPay handles such large accounts because it opened up my mind of clients I know who do millions a year in
Yeah,
transactions. So it's really good I saw this because now I'm getting the scope that you can take on massive clients. So that's really good to hear.
yeah, and that is something that has been a little more recent. But another thing that we see with a lot of the bigger clients is it's harder for them to keep an eye on, their declines and things like this because they just have so much going on. Where a lot of times a smaller business might notice things like that a little easier. So there's give and a take to it, but definitely bigger clients can still see those benefits as well.
And I have one other question, and I'll let
Yeah, for sure.
someone else ask. And you can also set up a client brand new with their
Oh
POS,
yeah.
everything. Okay.
Yep, yeah, we work with startup companies all the time and can get obviously banks have a little more underwriting requirements, but that's what we're here for is to work with the banks to make sure we can get everyone set up. But I've done plenty of startup companies as well.
Okay, awesome. Does anyone have any other question for Riker? Feel free. There are no stupid questions. Um,
If not, next time we can
yeah,
have a little more notice so that more people can jump on.
yeah. And I will make sure I have some people I want watching this because they
Mhm.
couldn't make it tonight. So I'll send it out once I convert it and upload it. So
Yeah, for
what?
sure. And if anybody has any questions, my email is just Ryker@platpay.com. I'll happy to answer them anytime. If someone wasn't here and sees the recording, feel free
Yes,
to reach out.
I have
yes.
a question for you,
Yeah, for sure.
Ryker.
Go ahead,
So,
Greg.
does this service work with like say retail storefront style businesses? Do you have technology that supports payment processing in person in stores as well?
We do. Yeah, we do a lot of in-person transactions too. We have a lot of relations with POS systems, so we have a couple different options like Clover and Deja Vu, and yeah, we
Mhm.
can set up either single location retail, multi-location retail. We've worked with a couple of them as well.
Okay. All right, great, great. And that's both Canada and the US.
Yes,
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
perfect.
Welcome. Thanks for speaking up, Greg. Well, if nobody else has any questions, I want to um, respect everybody's time. And Riker, you did a wonderful job. So there's no reason for us to stay long because I'm sure you have stuff to do at the office. So
For
yeah,
sure.
thank you for taking time to explain how PlatPay works. I'm going to get this off to a few key people as well. But I want to rebook
Cool.
you again to do another Zoom because I really love this content and I believe
Uh,
we have a lot of members in Landed for Success that don't know this option's available. So
for sure.
right? So I really want to get this information out to people. So thank you for your time this evening. If nobody else has any more questions, we will conclude the Zoom and make it short and sweet. And I want to thank everybody for keeping, I want to acknowledge all of you for keeping your word and being on the Zoom this evening. And just a quick announcement before we go. I'm speaking tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. I'm on Mindset from about Goya mentorship. So please get on. Anyone you know that's stuck in their business, maybe they're lacking performance, their business is shrinking, they're not generating results, maybe their team's dying, no one's taking them seriously anymore, and they're having a challenge leveling up in their business. I'm gonna go over that tomorrow. So make sure to be on with anyone in your life. They don't have to be part of Landed for Success. Have them come meet me because maybe I'll say one thing tomorrow that'll really help them. And Wednesday evening, we have none other than Mr. Greg Turner back on deck at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, sharing about how AI Pando can serve you in your business with what he does with your social media content, so you don't have to waste hours and hours per week figuring that out which is very, very powerful. And so make sure tomorrow you come hang out with me, 7 p.m., and Wednesday with Greg Turner. And we'll be posting it in the groups and everything, so look out for it and make sure and share this with people in your life. So Ryker, again, thank you for your time on with PlatPay. And thank you, Anil and Gregory, for joining us this evening. Have a wonderful evening and a great week, everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Cheers.
Sure. Thanks.